On behalf of myself, my parents, Scott and Betty Ann, all the staff at Wall-Custance, the staff at the Arboretum, I'd like to invite everybody to take a walk along the path with us. Although we can't be here in person today, we're glad that you could join us virtually for the 33rd annual Memorial Forest dedication service.
I'm Rochelle Roberts. I'm now a Guelphite and a member, I guess, of the family here at the Arboretum. We come to the Arboretum on a regular basis. My mom suddenly passed away when she was visiting me from Northern Ontario. We were blessed to, through Wall-Custance, have a memorial tree for my mom, which was great because we weren't ready for what was happening in the moment and we didn't know what we were going to do. I met some lovely people through that journey, as I'm sure the people who are attending this ceremony today are going to. And so this just made sense to not really have a cemetery to go to. We weren't really that kind of family. So this just is perfect sense for us to have a memorial tree and now a memorial bench.
I try not to put myself in a position where I'm trying to understand exactly what they're going through, but have empathy and be there as a resource for them, someone that can be relied on. I may be there to logistically bring those wishes to fruition.
Through that journey, it led us to Wall-Custance, who took such great care of us, who led us to the Arboretum, who are still taking good care of us. And I get shivers when I think about this place. I have a sister in New Liskeard, which is north of North Bay, a sister in Sudbury, a sister in Newmarket, and a sister in Manitoba. We decided that the memorial bench would be a place we come. My brother-in-laws gave my sisters and I the space to walk over together for the very first time. To see the bench and be with each other and just be grateful that we have each other. We had such great parents. And then, you know, the sadness dissipated for the moment. Lots of hugs with masks on. And then we were able to have our picnic.
I think in the journey of grief, self-compassion is probably one of the most important gifts that you can give yourself. That means taking care of yourself. That's physically, exercise, that's emotionally, that's mentally, and I think it's also spiritually. Hope always surprises us. As Annie Lamott says, she's such an incredible human being and writer, and in her journey, she's discovered that grief and hope are cousins. If you think you're gonna get through grief, and I know people in my life, they just say, well, I'm gonna keep busy. Well, guess what? Some days you just can't keep busy, and on those days, grief can sideswipe you and knock you off your feet, and you can feel as empty or as alone as ever before.
The day of the celebration, it was sad, but happy at the same time. I mean, it's a beautiful location to be celebrating your mom, now my dad's life. It just brings us together. There's a calmness and peace about it, and we come together here, talk about my mom and dad, and it keeps us together. Your family could either part or stay together, and ours is lucky enough to have these places to come together.
I can't tell you how much I enjoy nature and the incredible beauty of the setting here. I think I've learned more than ever that we are all just so interconnected with nature, and we're interconnected with all of humanity, the whole world. Going for a walk at the Arboretum has been sometimes the most sacred thing I can do. And when I stop and think about the people that I remember and love who I believe still journey with me, they're part of the universe. So in fact, when I'm out here, I feel I'm connected to people who I love still. This year, the Bur Oak tree is what's being planted in memory of someone that you love very dearly. And I really believe that the one that you love is a part of your life forever. It's part of your family. And this one you love, in every essence, journeys with you.
Having a ceremony where, yes, virtual isn't maybe our favorite way to do things, but keeps the love alive, the celebration of life alive, the closeness, and yeah, being able to include my sister from Manitoba, who can't necessarily be standing with us, but feels part of it.
This year, a Bur Oak tree has been planted that represents all 888 trees planted throughout the 400 acres here at the University of Guelph Arboretum. Our hope is that you find comfort in this living tribute, feel grounded in nature, feel a sense of calmness, peace, and feel connected. See the constant changing of the seasons, and see all the life that calls this ecosystem here home.
I think it's fantastic that you're still honoring and helping the people through their journey of loss. So I think it's good. Our family plans to make this a place we come every time they come down, whether it's Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, Easter, and then we have our own little celebrations that we'll come down for as well.
Albert Einstein said it so beautifully. He said, "Our death is not the end. If we can live on in our children, even in the younger generation, for they are us, our bodies. Our bodies are only wilted leaves on the tree of life."
I'm Justine Richardson, Director of the University of Guelph Arboretum, and I'm so glad that you're with us today on video to celebrate life's lived and the planting of this tree, a Bur Oak, here in the Arboretum Wall-Custance Memorial Forest. The Arboretum is a place of trails, wild spaces, boardwalks, formal gardens, many places to connect with nature, think about your loved ones. Today we'd like to invite you on a walk through the Wall-Custance Memorial Trail.
I'm here along the Wall-Custance Memorial Forest Trail, which is part of our Wall-Custance Memorial Forest Grove, which was first established in 1989. But as our forest has continued to grow over the years, we've seen the forest and the trail and the grove itself expand. And every year we have a dedication tree that represents all of the trees planted throughout the Arboretum as part of the Wall-Custance Memorial Forest program. In 1989, when the grove was first established, we started planting trees, and most of what you see around you was much smaller, much younger. And as the canopy has continued to grow, and as the forest has continued to grow over the years, we've also seen our trail expand. The trail expansion through this Freeman's Maple Swamp has been a really fun restoration project for us. We're able to actually establish the forest in a way that would have been here centuries ago. And it starts with the canopy of trees that we see, the Freeman's Maples. But the understory itself had filled in with a lot of invasive species over the years. So as you've been walking along this Boardwalk Trail for the last few years, you may have seen a lot of new species coming in as we remove the invasive species. We really wanted to get some things established very quickly that were not only native and part of the environment that would have been here, but also things that would catch people's attention, something to really have them appreciate the beauty of some of the native plants that are around us. So the first thing that I think catches almost everybody's eyes is cardinal flower, Lobelia cardinalis, and that was one of the early ones that we planted here. We grew them from seed in our Arboretum nursery many years ago with our volunteer groups. We planted them as very, very tiny young seedlings out here in 2018, just after the Boardwalk was established. And now we're seeing them in full bloom throughout much of the midsummer. And they're also going to seed and regenerating here in the space, which is kind of the true sign of a successful restoration program when nature can kind of regenerate itself. Later in the season, we see great blue lobelia and monkey flowers and joe pye weeds. Right now in particular, turtlehead is blooming. It has these really interesting little white flowers that actually look like kind of like little turtle heads, but they're pollinated by bumblebees. Very strong flowers, and bumblebees can kind of wrestle their way in there and pollinate them. And of course, being an arboretum, the forest and the woody plants, which we plant every year as part of our Memorial Forest program, are a big part of this as well. Under the shelter of these big beautiful maples, we're seeing swamp white oaks, sycamores, spicebush, winterberries, aronias, and all sorts of interesting things coming in that now are taking hold and providing food and shelter for all sorts of different wildlife, and also, of course, for us to enjoy coming through, being in this refuge, in this shelter of a beautiful forest that we're watching grow every year. Since 1989, we saw the grove expand, so we wanted to actually keep it very contiguous. We want it to be basically a circular circle of life kind of grove, so we had to make the trail bigger. And to make the trail bigger, we felt it was a really fantastic opportunity to build this boardwalk. And that's where the Memorial Forest program comes in, is we have this trail that stretches across the Arboretum where we're planting native species every year. And sometimes that starts out as what we call pioneer species like aspens and birches and sumacs. And eventually as that canopy grows, we can tuck things like sugar maples and basswoods and black cherries and yellow birch, and then the shrub layer underneath that as well. So it's been really amazing to watch this forest trail grow over the years, and it's actually been putting green fingers out into other parts of the Arboretum.
I offer this closing poem by a psychotherapist, Dr. Jean Bolin, and this has given me peace through COVID, and I want to offer it to all of you right now. Be like a tree, stay grounded, connect with your roots, turn over a new leaf, bend before you break, enjoy your unique and natural beauty, and friends, keep growing, keep growing. Peace be with you all.
Keeping the memories alive and in such a wonderful location. Really can't ask for anything better.